Since the dawn of humanity, there have always been competitions. In the animal kingdom, it's survival of the fittest, an innate struggle to outmatch the rest. But even early humans took competition to another level. In fact, cave paintings from the Paleolithic era, dating back around 15,500 years, depict early forms of wrestling and sprinting. These weren't just fights for survival, contests were actually organized, and this was the beginnings of what we now call sports. Fast forward to today, and our obsession with sports has only grown. From football to rugby to the grand stage of the Olympics, sports have evolved in incredible ways. They've become a global phenomenon. So much so that in 2023 alone, the sports industry generated a staggering $2.65 trillion in revenue. So naturally, the next step is anime horse girls go to school, are idols, and love to race. Umamusume is a multimedia franchise developed by Side Games, and they just released the global version of their mobile game, Pretty Derby. The crazy thing about this game is that the game made around $2.5 billion in Japan alone. This can already compare to some of the biggest gacha games on the market, and it only has a Japanese audience. That's just crazy to see. Me personally, I had no idea what this game even was. I randomly saw it on the Opera GX release calendar about a month before it dropped and thought, oh, okay, anime horse girls, sure, moving on. Fast forward to now, and it's everywhere. It started taking over the streamer world. You've got Northern Lion playing it, Asmongold's on it. Ludwig's not only played it, he made a whole streamer tournament around it. And even XQC, yeah, even he's in the horse girl trenches.
Oh!
Wow! And the wildest part, they're not even sponsored. No hashtag ad, no thanks to Side Games for the code, just raw, unfiltered horse girl gameplay. So what's going on here? Why is everyone suddenly obsessed with Umamusume? Well, in this video, I'll talk about 3 key reasons. Umamusume Pretty Derby is a complicated and fun management simulator game. At first glance, Pretty Derby looks like just another free-to-play anime game where you collect cute girls with mediocre gameplay. And honestly, fair assumption. I mean, the name Umamusume literally translates to horse girl. But Umamusume is actually a surprisingly solid and fun management simulator. As someone who hasn't really dipped into this genre much, I didn't know what to expect, and judging by how confused most people are during their first non-tutorial career run, I don't think anyone does at first. So let me give you a quick rundown. When you start a new career run in Pretty Derby, you pick a runner, or your horse girl, and then select your support cards, which are basically the characters that coach and boost her stats. Oh wait, you don't have any of those yet? That's fine, there's a solution. That's gambling, baby! Yeah! Like many mobile games, Pretty Derby is a gacha game, meaning you roll on banners to unlock new runners and support cards. To do that, you use the in-game currency called carrots. Like every other gacha game, they shower you with free pulls at the beginning and get you hooked on the sugar before asking you to buy the crack. It's textbook. Now, to be clear, these kind of gacha systems are super predatory, and if that turns you off from playing, I get it, no shame. But honestly, the free-to-play experience isn't that bad, unless you're trying to climb the PvP leaderboards and build a sweaty meta team. In that case, God help you. Now, it's a good time to explain what actually makes the runners and support cards special. Each runner specializes in 3 key areas: track, distance, and style. First up, track. There are only 2 types: turf and dirt. Don't stress too much about this though, there aren't many dirt racers in the game right now, but one of these dirt runners is a fan favorite. Don't worry, I'll talk about them later. Next is distance, which ranges from sprint, mile, medium to long. Basically, this just tells you whether your runner's built for short bursts or endurance marathons. Think of it as the difference between running to catch the bus and running a full-on triathlon. And finally, there's style, which determines how your runners race. Options are front, which leads the pack early, goes hard from the start. Pace, sits comfortably in the middle. Late, that waits and then strikes late. The end, which saves everything for the final stretch like an anime climax. Most characters lean toward 2 different styles, which can add to the customization for your runner. Except this doesn't even matter because all of them basically lean toward being a pace chaser for some reason. There's only really a problem in the global release right now because they don't have all the characters, but this will eventually be fixed.
Now, let's move on to support cards. These are basically your in-game friends who help during training. They activate special events that boost your stats or teach you useful skills. These are the core of a successful run in Umamusume Pretty Derby. Pulling for your favorite Uma is fun, sure, but if you want to win, it's all about having the right support cards. Next up, Legacy Umamusume. These are the Umamusume who inspire your career run. They're kind of like your character's parents. They give you inspiration 3 times during your training, which significantly boosts your stats. So think of it like breeding. To get the best result, you want good parents and good grandparents. There are even websites that teach you how to build the perfect PvP Uma, but don't stress about that too much if you're just starting out. Just remember, you want 3-star sparks. So be sure to friend someone with a strong 9-star Uma and use your daily borrow wisely. Now you can finally start your career run. As you play, random and scripted events will happen based on the Uma you picked. Some of these events are great, and some of them are really bad. Your Uma will pick up negative conditions, and you will have to cure them or their mood might drop. Alright, I haven't talked about the mood yet, have I? Mood directly affects your training and race performance. A happier Uma trains better and races more effectively, so keeping her in a good mood is important. Switching gears, let's talk about training. There are 5 types: speed, stamina, power, guts, and wit. You want to train based on your Uma's strength and the type of race she specializes in. Or you could just pick Sakura Bakushin and spam speed training. Each training category helps with a different aspect of the race. Speed is the most important category to train. It's a racing game. You want to be fast. Stamina affects how long your Uma can maintain her speed. Super important for long distance races. Power determines how quickly she reaches her top speed. Essential for late runners who need to surge past opponents. Guts? Just throw that in the trash. It slightly reduces stamina drain during the final spurt, but it's not worth investing in. Wit helps your Uma activate skills more reliably and improves her positioning. It also gives you a little energy when trained. You've probably noticed those icons when you hover over training options. What's that about? Those represent your support cards. Each day, their placement is random. If a card shows up in a training slot, that training will be more effective. Early on, the best strategy is to pick up whatever training has the most support cards in it. This helps boost your bond with them, which eventually unlocks friendship training, giving you even bigger stat boosts. Next up, skills. Skills are abilities your Umas can use during races. Some trigger at the start, some in the middle, and some in the final spurt. You buy them using skill points and can unlock new ones through your support cards. Different skills work better for different running styles, so experiment. And now the best part, the races. This is where all your training pays off. The races are surprisingly fun to watch. Sometimes your Uma will be in last place the entire time, only to explode forward at the finish line and win by a nose. But remember, if you lose, it's not your Uma's fault, it's yours, trainer. After you're done with the career run, you can use your Uma as a legacy Uma, or use them for the PvP mode, Team Trials, and build your best team. But that is all I will talk about for the gameplay. It might not be everyone's cup of tea, but I personally think it's fun to manage your runner's career and try to make them the best they can be.
Umamusume Pretty Derby is a unique blend of various aspects of Japanese culture, and its success wouldn't be the same without that cultural fusion. Two elements that stand out the most is the horse racing and the idol culture, both huge parts of modern Japanese society. Horse racing in Japan first gained traction when the Yokohama Racing Club was established in 1862 by foreign residents, mainly the British. From there, the sport steadily grew in popularity. Fast forward to today, and Japan hosts around 21,000 horse races annually, supported by a massive betting industry that makes the sport incredibly profitable and deeply ingrained in the entertainment culture. This popularity means there's a massive audience for media like this, making it a smart move to incorporate into a game. It helps create a fresh, original genre that stands out. Next is idol culture. Japan has always been a powerhouse in the global music industry, second only to the US in profitability, and even briefly surpassing it in 2010. While Japan has a wide range of musical genres, idol music is one of the most iconic. The term actually originated in Japan in the 1960s, inspired by the French musical film Cherchez les Idoles. What really defined idol music in Japan were young, charismatic performers who served as role models, which quickly became the core image of the industry. Now, I know the idol industry has its fair share of controversies, but for the sake of this video, what matters is how insanely popular it is in Japan. Cygames already had experience with idol culture. They had previously worked on the Idol Master series, a game where you help train and guide your idol to stardom. In many ways, that concept is similar to Umamusume Pretty Derby. Drawing from that experience, they decided to merge idol culture with horse racing, and the result was a huge success. Umamusume became a multimedia franchise with music, anime, manga, and games all centered around it, and it took Japan by storm. Like I mentioned earlier, it generated around $2.5 billion in Japan alone. That's because it perfectly fused two beloved genres into something new that resonated with fans. Average Pretty Derby player in Japan, just your typical salaryman, someone who enjoys horse racing and idol music. And now with the global release, even if we can't relate to it on the same cultural level, we can still appreciate the charm and creativity of blending these two uniquely Japanese passions. One of the biggest things people latch onto in Umamusume is the wide cast of unique horse girls. But it's not just their personalities or stories that stand out. What makes them really interesting is that each Uma is based on a real-life racehorse. In the world of Umamusume, race horses from our world are essentially reincarnated as horse girls known as Umas. There are no actual horses in this universe. Umas have completely replaced them. They're all female and they possess superior stamina and speed compared to normal humans. Now you might be thinking, wait, these anime girls are based on real horses? And the answer is yes, absolutely. Cygames actually contacted real-life trainers to get permission to use their horses' names and likenesses. Many agreed, but not everyone did. This is also one of the reasons why Cygames publicly stated that they didn't want lewd content of the characters. Japanese fans generally respected that. The global audience, well, not so much. But one particularly funny story from a trainer comes from Kunihide Matsuda, the trainer of the horse Daiwa Scarlet, who had a famous rivalry with another horse named Vodka. His only condition for allowing Cygames to use Daiwa Scarlet was that she had to have a bigger chest than Vodka. So yeah, the rivalry lives on. But what really shows Cygames' dedication is the incredible amount of research they put into each Uma. They didn't just borrow the horses' names, they reflected their personalities, histories, and even physical traits in the characters. For example, there's a hidden detail in their head accessories. If the accessory was on the right ear, the horse was a stallion in real life. If it's on the left, they were a mare. Then there's Fine Motion, who was a vestigial hermaphrodite, so she has her accessories on both sides. Even their outfits are packed with meaning. Take Tokaiteo for instance. In real life, she had 3 white hooves and 1 black hoof. In the game, she wears 2 white boots, 1 white glove, and 1 black glove. A subtle but powerful nod to the real horse. And it doesn't stop there. Every Uma has these kinds of details, which just shows how much care Cygames puts into honoring their real-world counterparts. Now let's talk about 2 characters that captured the internet's hearts, Haru Urara and Goldship, both incredibly unique and beloved. In Umamusume, Haru Urara is a cheerful, upbeat, and always smiling, even when she loses, and that fits perfectly because her real-life counterpart had a racing record of 0 wins and 113 losses, but despite never winning, she became a national symbol of perseverance. She was so beloved that people would bet on her for good luck, even knowing she'd probably lose. At one point, she even helped save a struggling racetrack just by showing up. Now she's living a peaceful retirement at Matha Farm in Chiba Prefecture at the ripe old age of 29. And in a heartwarming twist, she finally won her first race, a special event with other retired horses. It's a beautiful story of perseverance and positivity, and her Umamusume counterpart reflects that perfectly. Fans love her so much that when the farm asked for help feeding the horses, they donated over 2,500 kilograms of grass to support them. So it's safe to say Haru Urara will be full and happy for the rest of her days, thanks to the love from Pretty Derby fans. Switching gears from that heartfelt story, let's talk about Goldship, probably the wildest character in Umamusume. In her in-game story, she literally kidnaps you just to convince you to be her trainer. And in another game, she cameos as a god. The internet quickly fell in love with her chaotic energy, and she's become a fan favorite for her unpredictable, mischievous antics. But the real-life Goldship was somehow even crazier. He was known for kicking trainers, attacking camera crews, striking dramatic poses, and most infamously, being the star of the 12 billion yen incident. In the 2015 Takarazuka Kinen, Goldship was the heavy favorite to win. People were so confident in him that a staggering 12 billion yen, about 100 million USD, was bet on the race. The crowd held their breath. The gates opened. And Goldship just stood there. He bucked a few times before finally running, starting the race with a massive disadvantage, and ended up finishing 15th out of 16. Maybe he felt bad afterward, because it was one of the only times he walked up to his trainer and let him pet him, like he somehow understood what he'd done. Also, he makes a ton of funny faces. Today, Goldship is retired and living his best life at Big Red Farm in Niikapu, Hokkaido. He's 16 years old and in peak health, which some people say means he never even pushed himself to his full potential while racing. Now, he's a breeding stallion, and it costs about $26,500 to breed a mare with him, because his genetics are just that good. So far, he's fathered over 500 foals. With a backstory this unhinged, it's no wonder why the internet loves him. And funny enough, his real-life trainer said that the anime version isn't even crazy enough. So yeah, the deep horse lore behind Umamusume is one of the biggest reasons why the game resonates with fans. It's not just cute girls running, it's living history with a twist. So in conclusion, Pretty Derby might look like just another run-of-the-mill anime gacha game at first glance, but in reality, it's packed with depth, detail, and passion. Cygames clearly put an incredible amount of effort from the cultural inspiration to the historical accuracy and the character design. Sure, it might not stay in the mainstream spotlight forever, but it definitely deserves all the success it's gotten. Hey, thank you for watching this video. I didn't expect it to take this long, and the game did release over a month ago, but I hope you enjoyed this video nonetheless, and if you did, maybe consider subscribing and liking the video. This is actually the first video on this channel, so any support really helps me know if people are into this kind of content. Also, feel free to drop a comment with ideas for future videos. If I like the idea, I just might make it happen.